Welcome everybody to Pathfinders trainings and today I'm going to talk about one more session in Pathfinders Life Transformation Series. Last time we talked about the 10 principles of success in life and today we're going to talk about stress management. A very uh, pertinent and very important topic in today's life. What is stress, guys? A lot of you are here now in the session. So what is stress? Let me start by asking, what do you think about stress? Do we have stress in life? Yes or no? Yes, we have stress in life. Feeling what we don't know what will happen next is what Rahul says. Uneasiness, Pramod says is stress here. We are all stressed, whether we are aware of that or not, but we are all stressed at one level or another. What is stress? Stress results when we react to the potential change in our environment, situation, and we react with concern, worry, or fear. Let's first understand the medical situation here. What actually happens in our body when we are stressed and how does it relate to us? So let's understand this. In primitive humans, it was devised for a short-term reaction. Remember, we were living in caves, we were in jungles, there were animals attacking us, we didn't have any homes, no tools. So, stress was the mechanism of coping with this uncertainty that was around the primitive humans. When danger was perceived, the brain responded by releasing the CRH, which is a hormone. This activated the pituitary gland to secrete another hormone, ACTH, you know, and this causes the adrenal gland to release three additional hormones, you know, eniferine. I'm not a doctor, so these are tough terms for me. Non-refiferine and cortisol. These are the three hormones that are released. The first two hormones, what do? They increase the blood pressure and the heart rate. And they divert the blood from your gastrointestinal system to the muscles, giving them strength, agility, speed of the reaction times. The cortisol releases the glucose to provide immediate fuel to the body. That's how the primitive human could react very fast into this situation. And for him, stress was not a continuous thing because animals were not attacking him continuously. Stressful situations were not continuously happening. So after some time, these stress hormones, they went back into the body and the body again became normal. Okay, so a real or imagined threat activates it and you become ready for fight. This is how medically your body works when a situation. So what is a stress? Stress is a situation where you get ready to defend yourself or you get ready to fight. In the start, it was only physical, you know, danger which uses to cause stress. You know, remember at that time, primitive humans, they did not have WhatsApp, they did not have Facebook, and they did not have relationship issues. They were not even married, marriage was not invented. But now, when we come to our present age, you know, we are in a continuous threat in our life, and we have so many stresses. What is a stressor? A thing or a situation or an object or anything else which can be perceived as a threat by us and which will make these hormones to be released in order for the stress to be mitigated. In our life, what do we have? We have so many now. We are full of them. The first stress that people have in their life is financial insecurity. There is never enough. An endless series of objects to be acquired, dreams to be fulfilled, desires to be quenched, and this needs money, and somehow it is never enough. If you have seen things in your neighborhood, you want to visit every place in India. If you have seen every place in India, you want to travel the world. And the more is your desire, the more is the money that you require. And this financial insecurity causes stress. Human relationships have become very tricky. You have to continuously work on them, and human relationships have become a reason for stress. Work have become complicated. Work issues cause stress for people. The extended travel. I've seen people who are never home. They're continuously traveling. I have a friend, he works in an IT company, gets a salary of 6 lakh rupees a month. He's financially secure, but he's never home, and his married life is a mess. So he has found one security, but he is into a relationship mess. And just to make a balance of all these factors causes more stress. And you have to continuously adapt to new technology. You get used to one phone, and by the time you are used to it, there is a new model into the market, and you are under intense pressure, social pressure to go and buy that new one. Your old car is serving the purpose fantastically well, but you have this peer pressure to buy a new one, move into a new neighborhood, buy a bigger house. All these are stresses. Not only that, there is continuous unwanted information you are having through your WhatsApp channels, your Telegram channels, your Facebooks. You know, now information is freely available. And what most people do not realize is that an overload of information causes stress. A few months ago, I was a lot on WhatsApp for my personal stuff, for my office stuff, and so I suddenly found I started feeling irritated, for a lot of time. And I decided a few months ago that I will limit the time of my WhatsApp just to, watching it for 5 to 10 minutes in a day. And that too, once in the morning around 11 o'clock or so for something important, once in the night, let's say around 9 to 10 o'clock. And suddenly, WhatsApp has not been a stressor anymore for me. So there is so many things happening. We are living a complex, we are in an industrial age now. And the industrial age is continuously changing into a knowledge age now. In the start, we were into the primitive age, the Stone Age. Then came the agricultural age. Then come the industrial age. And now we are in the knowledge age where, your mind is continuously at work. So you are continuously stressed, knowingly or unknowingly. Do you agree with me here, guys? Are you with me so far on this? A very important topic I thought I'll talk about today. Great. So a real or imagined threat will activate it and we become absolute ready for a fight. So now the problem is you do not have control over most of the things. Relationships are tricky. The boss is bad. The travel is unbearable, and you have the pressure of having the perfect body, the perfect bank balance, the perfect relationships, and all this continuously causing stress. The stress chemicals are continuously secreted. But the problem is you can neither fight nor flee, and you feel trapped and you feel helpless. And when this Hpa axis, this is called the Hpa axis here. What is this axis? The first two increase blood pressure and heart rate. What are the first two that we have? It is, we have epinephrine and norepinephrine, and the third one is cortisol here. So these together, Cortisol releases glucose to provide immediate fuel to body. This entire circuit is called HPA, hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. And this should be, only temporarily active. The problem that is happening in our life is that this HPA axis is continuously active, and because of that, you can suffer from diseases like ulcer, obesity, depression, heart issues, etc. You know, doctors were never so happy before because in this age, there is a continuous business for them because of this phenomena called stress. And that's why stress management is absolutely important. So, reducing the stress management, reading about it will not only improve our happiness and life quality, very frankly, it can save our life. So take stress management very seriously. Even if you feel that there's not much stress in my life, you have some degree of stress in your life and you should continuously work about improving the situation of stress in your life. So let's first start by becoming little aware about ourselves. Let's go in and become a little aware of our body first. Let's do a body awareness meditation. Are you ready, guys? Is your family with you? How many of you are there who are watching it with your family? Please say yes. If you're watching with your family, I'll be very happy. Okay, that's a lot of people. Great, guys. So welcome everybody who is sitting with the traders, and I really appreciate you taking out the time and coming into this session. So let's do breathing awareness and body awareness. So sit straight, spine straight. You can sit on a chair, you can sit below on the ground. Do not stand, sit somewhere. Make sure your spine is erect. The breath is the connecting link between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. Become aware of your breath. Take the awareness on the tip of your nose. This is where the breath goes in and it comes out. So just become aware of it. As it is going in, watch it going in without disturbing it. And when it is coming out, just watch it coming out without disturbing it. Just be with your breath. If thoughts come, just be aware of them and bring the awareness gently back on the breath. Now let's become aware of our body parts. Take your awareness on your toes. You have one thumb, four fingers. Become aware of your toe. Feel the touch that you are having with the earth. and just become aware of your toe. Now become aware of your feet. Move it a little and become aware of it. This helps you in mobility, taking you from one place to another place. Become aware of your calf muscles. These calf muscles, they are the gutter of our body. Most of the toxins are stored here. Relaxing them every day, massaging them every day is a great stress busters. Become aware of your knees. They store your fear. Take your hands on your knees and gently caress your knees. Now, become aware of your thighs. Now, become totally aware of your full leg, the lower torso. Become aware of your lower torso. Take your full awareness in both your legs. Become aware of your genitals, your reproductive organs. This is where your Muladhara chakra is, your base. Become aware of your excretory organs, your hips. Now gently take the awareness now in the upper body and become aware of your stomach. There are a lot of internal organs here. You have your kidneys, which help you, and there's so many other organs inside your intestines and other things. Now bring your awareness above and become aware of your chest area, where you have your lungs, you have your heart. Now take the awareness on the back of your body. Become aware of your spinal cord. From the bottom down where your Muladhara chakra is, all the way up till your neck. Become aware of the Muladhara, this spinal cord of yours. Your spinal cord is magic. The flexibility in your spinal cord is the key to stress management. That's why stretching it every day is very, very beneficial. Now become aware of the back area, your full back, including the lower sides. Become aware of them. Take your awareness to the shoulders. Put your right hand on your left shoulder and just feel the shoulders. Feel the warmth of your hand on your shoulder. Just become aware of your shoulder. Take your right hand and gently put it on the you know, left hand on your right shoulder. Sorry. Feel it. Now become aware of your hands, both the hands. Start by becoming aware of your four fingers. Just keep your eyes closed and move your four fingers. Just keep on moving them up and down. Move your four fingers. Now, keep the fingers stationary and move both the thumbs up and down. Now move fingers and thumb both up and down. And now touch the fingers with the fingers and the tip of the thumb with another thumb. And become aware of the sensation of this touch. Now gently rub your right palm on your left hand. Gently. Just become aware of the touch that you're happening on your hand. Now the left hand on the right. Now become aware of your neck region, your seat of communication. Now take the awareness on your chin. Touch your chin with your index finger of your right hand. Just touch your chin. Become aware of it. Touch your lips. Become aware of them. Just touch your nose. Become aware of it. Now touch your cheeks. Rub it on your face. You can have more fingers now. Touch. Touch your eyes, your forehead, your ears. Now put both the hands on your head. Become aware of the top of your head and everything below it. Your tongue, your teeth, your nose, your ear, all parts. This is your physical body. So you know you have more bodies: mental body, emotional body, astral body, etheric body, causal body, and many others. We just move from gross vibrations, which is the physical body, to more refined vibration. That's how our bodies are composed of. Basic quantum physics tells us about it. Put your hands down now on your thighs and take the awareness gently back on your breath. Watch your breath coming in and going out. Be with your breath for a minute. On my count of 5, gently open your eyes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Please open your eyes slowly. How are you feeling, friends? Rajendra says, I'm feeling energetic, fantastic. I can feel my breath. I'm feeling good, Arvind says. Okay. And best way to feel good factor. I'm feeling good, feeling different, very relaxed. Now, thank you very much for your feedback. But aren't you feeling less stressed than what you were 10 minutes ago? Yes or no? Did you spend any money on it? Did you have to talk to another human being? Did you have to go and watch a movie? No. You just were with yourself. So, what were you doing? You were doing this point number 3. I said this will be more relevant once I pass you through a meditation. So, after a stressful event or a situation, you need to clear your bodies of the stress hormones and return to a normal state. And you have to do it on a continuous basis. Very, very important. So, this 10 minutes, we have 24 hours every day. And I'm sure you can spend 10-15 minutes just focusing, thinking how you can reduce stress in your life. So, let's go deeper into the subject and identify the stressful situations. What are the situations, events, conditions that cause the maximum stress in your life and which gets reflected in your body? The one that is the most traumatic for anybody, the stress, is the death of a family member or a close one, your close and near and dear one. Death is a huge stress because when a person is gone, it takes us a long time to get used to the fact that the person is not there anymore and you have lost the person forever. I know many years ago when I lost my mother, it was the most traumatic experience I passed through because we take our parents for granted. They are there for us, for everything. And when she passed, and she was not very old, she was around 65. And when she passed away, it took me months to get over that trauma. There were times when I felt all the desire for life. Even though everything was there, I felt there is nothing left for me. How many of you have passed through this situation? We all pass through it at one time or another. Thank you very much. I'll not put the names here, but I am really, really thankful for you sharing this with me. Because this is the time when you go up, your body is continuously secreting those hormones, the 3 hormones, and the axis is continuously active. And if you do not do anything about it, this will just lead. It is a snowball effect. It will kept on getting bigger and bigger. Please understand, if you do not manage the stress will cause more stress. So this is one of the top 10s, death of a family member or a close one. Second reason for stress is an accident to yourself or to your family member because suddenly your body is not fully functional. We take our body for granted. And when it is not fully functional, it causes a lot of stress for us. A disease. If somebody starts suffering from a disease, it causes a lot of stress. Disease is a greater stress, generator. Loss of job is huge stress. Most people don't realize that loss of job can be as traumatic as somebody dying or, accident or something major that has happened in your life because your financial insecurity becomes 100%. And if you are married and you have a family to support, A loss of job can be hugely, stressful. And we need to understand these situations so that when one of them happens to us, touch wood, God forbid, nothing should happen. But if it happens, it is life. You should know that this is causing stress for you, and you do something about it. Divorce is a huge stress for people, because divorce is failure in the path of both the partners. Something that started out of love, a relationship, which was supposed to have children, which was supposed to have years of happiness together and a peaceful old age. Suddenly, everything goes bad. Divorce is very painful. Guys. I've seen cases of divorce, and I see the couple devastated and the children, they are shattered. So divorce is a big stress, and people take years to come out of it. Legal problems cause stress. Any kind of a legal problem is a stress. Being victim of crime, violence, abuse, you know, this is also causing stress here. Financial problem is a stress. If you have financial issues, it will cause a lot of stress to you. Inability or difficulty to repay a loan. We are in an age where loans are very easy. But what people don't realize is that loans have to be repaid. If you have taken a X amount of loan, you have to pay back at least 2x or 3x. And the repayment of loan is conditional, means your job has to go well, the financial security should be there. By any chance, if that is missing, you will have stress, guys. Okay. Just let me reload my screen, guys. Some people were having a little issue. Can you hear me properly? Can you see the screen properly? All of you? Just give me a confirmation. Yes, guys. Thank you very much. Now, inability to take care of your old parents. We are in an age where joint families are gone. We have nuclear families. Children are staying away from the parents, and there are so many times when children want to take care of their old parents, but they could not do it because either they are too far away from the parents, they can only send them some money, sometimes not even that, or they are in relationships where maybe the spouse is not allowing to take care of the parents, and in that case, it generates a lot of stress. So you mark, if you are passing through these situations, it will cause stress for you. It will cause, because you want to do that. Your parents who have taken care of you for life, they have paid for your education, they have faced the tough days, and they have made you whatever you are. And one fine day you feel extremely, helpless that you are not able to take care of them. I have, friends who are settled in US now. They can send all the money their parents wants. But I was meeting one of them, and the father says, I don't want your money, I want you. And, that is really, really painful. First, I can relate to that pain. So, and sometimes you have parents who are sick. You have parents. I always, try to relate to the pains of people. And if you're not able to take care of people, it is a very stressful situation. Now, marriage is stress. Now, people will say, how is marriage stress? Now, this point needs to be understood very well. Why marriage is a stress? Marriage is an arrangement that the society made so that the humanity can go in a process. Basically, sex is a very strong urge, and please understand the institution of marriage was not available before. In order for the society to be built, some brilliant guy said, let two people be committed to each other. Let them legally be bound to each other so that they can produce a family. And we cannot have humanity if we do not have, families where children would be taken care of. And they will grow, become mature, and that's how the society will evolve. So marriage is a great institution. But the fact is, when two people get married, you know, then it is two different human beings who have to find out compatibility on four levels: physical level, mental level, emotional level, and spiritual level. There is four level of compatibility. And this is a relationship of years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. And in India, where divorce is not a very common thing or not considered good, some marriages keep on dragging even if the partners are not compatible. And this is a person, a male or a female, with whom you are living 24 hours. And you cannot have a mask on all the time. You cannot have a mask on all the time. Guys who have an issue, I will send you a recording, so don't worry. So, you are sharing the same house, you're sharing the same bed, you have irritating habits, he or she has irritating habits, and eventually you have to get used to all that. And it will take a lot of time for that compatibility to happen, and it is a endless process. You get married, then you have children. Children have to go to school. You have to make them grow up. Becoming a parent is a huge stress. We all want our children to become Albert Einsteins and Bill Gates and a Warren Buffett. But then as our children keep on going to school, they grow up, we find that neither were we perfect nor are they perfect. And that imperfection creates stress. Our inability to accept the imperfection creates a lot of stress. And there is no single method by which you can be a perfect, parent. Wayne Dyer, a fantastic motivator and a great doctor, he said, before marriage, I had no children and I had, 8 methods or 9 methods of raising children that I thought of. And now after marriage, I have many children and I have no methods. Right? So marriage is a continuous stress. How many of you are married here, guys? How many married people here? So how many of you can relate with me? So we all have good spouses and bad spouses, but the fact is, at some level, we will always be incompatible. Sunil says, I'm married for 33 years. Congratulations. And the best part is, and the worst part is, it is a great stress buster also, and it is a great stressor also. And since you are in a relationship for a long period of time, the potential of growth is also immense and the potential of a disaster is also immense. That's why if there is one relationship on which you should be working day in and day out, that should be your marriage. Because if you work on your marriage, you automatically will keep on becoming better human beings, a better parent and a better person because you are creating compatibility. Another reason why problems with children can be a stress, the children will grow as individual humans. You know, and you work with them. When our two boys were born, I bought 35 books on parenting. I read all of them. They're still there in my library. But I found when children grow up, they do not follow those books always, right? So you have to deal with children. You have to make sure. And what do your children require? What is the key to success with children? Would you like a session on parenting, guys? The next one? Yes or no? Great. So that's I like this topic, parenting. So children, what do children require? They require unconditional love. That's the only thing they require. Everything else they'll manage. They're smarter than you. Unconditional love. And there's so many problems with children that you have to deal on continuously. They will fall down, they will become sick, they will hurt themselves, they'll have girlfriends, they will have issues with drugs, they will have issues with drinking and smoking, and they don't want to study, they don't want to become so there's so many issues with children. I've seen children which are 99%, and you know it's a problem because they do not do anything else, which is also a problem. So problems with children create stress. Then there is expectation mismatch between parents and children. See, one other place which I put on my list is traveling in heavy traffic. For how many of you this is stress? Yes, it's a stress for a lot of people. They wish, in fact, there's so many people who come to the profession of trading because there is no traveling involved. Mismatch in work-life balance can create stress. Deadlines can create stress. Domestic disputes. In every house, there are disputes. They can cause irritation and then they escalate into a fight. You know, So they create a continuous stress. Somebody criticizing you is stressful. And and there can be many other things on the list. I have just added a few that I could relate to. Okay, so failure to achieve those. Now, Ranjan is so positive. He said, I like that driving, traveling because that time I'm with myself. See, you have already found a stress buster. You have created a negative situation in a positive one. Fantastic. So when this stress comes, what are the symptoms? You have psychological symptoms, physical symptoms, and behavioral symptoms. So let's look at the psychological symptoms. What would be a psychological system? Pick for yourself which one do you suffer from. You will suffer from fears and anxieties, just like that, no reason. When you're stressed, you are in a fight or flight syndrome, you will have fear and anxiety. Okay. Lack of concentration would be a reason. How many of you cannot hear me properly? I will restart, guys. Just a minute, I'll restart. Some of you can't hear me properly. Okay, guys, can all of you hear me properly? I'm sharing my screen now. So can everybody hear me properly and see me properly? Mr. Rao, you said you couldn't. So if you say yes, I know most of you can. Great. Fine. So let's carry on. What are the psychological symptoms of stress? Fear and anxiety. That is the first symptom. You will be anxious and you'll be scared. You know. Then lack of concentration, guys. You will not be able to concentrate on things. You will not be able to finish your jobs. You will forget things and you will feel depressed. Depression is you don't feel good. You don't feel energetic. And a continuous irritation happens and you suffer from a low self-esteem. Ask yourself if you have any of these symptoms. If you have any of these symptoms, you are suffering from stress and you need to manage your stress, guys. You need to manage your stress. You will have a fear of failure and you will become angry over small things, irrelevant things you could have handled properly. So how many of you happens you become angry at just random things and you later think it was a small thing, I shouldn't have got angry. I'll not share names, guys, so you can freely share with me. Great. And then sometimes we have these burst outs. I had a friend, it's a real case, I won't name the guy. He was in a job. It was a paying job, but his boss was, very bad. So one day he couldn't take it anymore. He lost control. He went into his boss's cabin and he beat the shit out of him, left and right. Bam, 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 bam. Then he said to him, I'll tell you one more thing. If you tell this to anybody, then I'll beat you more. I know you can fire me. I'll lose my job. But I'll stand outside that gate and I'll beat you every day. Don't do this, please. I won't recommend that. But it was a win-win. Of course, later on he went, said sorry to him and things went okay. He had to leave the job, of course. But this is a burst out. What is a burst out? A burst out is an earthquake, it is a volcano. It is when there is too much stress inside you and one fine day you just explode. And this burst out is the most dangerous thing. Is the most dangerous thing you can go on. So this one is what you are avoiding. Your whole aim of doing, stress management is that you should not have burst outs. Because burst outs can take you away, from whatever normal thing is happening. You will feel frustration, you will have a loss of motivation. If you are suffering from these symptoms, these 11 symptoms, and what you do is a very quick exercise you can do. You can take these 11 things and give them a rating 1 to 10. Everything will not be 10. You can give a rating 1 to 10. In some you can have 2, some you can have 5, some you can have 9, and see what is your overall rating. If the total comes to over 50%, you're very stressed. Then what will be the physical symptoms of stress? Increased blood pressures, headaches, difficulty in breathing. You will feel tired all the time, and sometimes you might even face difficulty in breathing. Lethargy, fatigue, body pains. And this one is do you get up in the morning just like that because life looks beautiful to you? Now, this might not look like a stressor to you, but this is a big stressor, especially from Monday to Saturday when your job is there. And in the morning, if you don't want to get up in the morning, just want to continue sleep a little more, like it or not, you are stressed. How many of you suffer from this? Not wanting to get up in the morning. Thank you for your sharing. The mother went to the son and said, "Go to school." He said, "No, Mama, I don't want to go to school. Please, please, I will not go today. Give me one good reason. Why should I go to the school?" The mother said, "Because you are the principal of that school." See, lack of motivation can be for everybody. So, this is one simple thing. If life is good for you, you would feel like getting up and doing things. Here. Now, Karthik says, not wanting to get up in the morning, no longer this feeling, sir, as I want to attend the training room sessions. Wow, thank you very much. I'm already a little de-stressed with this compliment. Okay. When you suffer from insomnia, what is insomnia? Insomnia is lack of sleep. You do not have, you face difficulty in falling asleep. You know, my friend said, I'm exactly going through all these physical symptoms. Then you are stressed. Then you are stressed and you have to do something about it. I'll be talking now, of course, down how you can de-stress. There's no point talking all this if I don't give solutions. Obesity is a very, if your weight is increasing from your normal weight, if you are more than 30%, 20-30% above, you fall into the obesity criteria. Your weight increases. The first sign of a stress-free life is that your weight will remain constant. I'm at about 73, 74 kilos now for almost 7 years. Just 1 kilo up and down it will go. And I remember when I was doing a corporate job, I was making damn good money. I was obese, I was very fat, I was stressed. I had all these symptoms. And after I became a professional trader and a coach, suddenly all that has gone away. When you are happy with your life, when you're liking what you're doing, you will be de-stressed. Obesity is imbalance. Any imbalance will create stress. And sometimes that imbalance is a symptom of the stress. Like obesity is a symptom of the stress. Another symptom of stress is bruxism. What is bruxism? Grinding your teeth. If you will go to your dentist, he will tell you whether you are a bruxer or not. Especially in night, when they are sleeping, many people keep on grinding their teeth. You can sometime, when your spouse is sleeping, go near, put your ear, and you can hear that grinding noise. Don't do that. I'm just giving an example. Do it at your own risk. And you will be so surprised to find how common bruxism is. A lot of people suffer from bruxism. And if you are a bruxer, you should go and, cure it by de-stressing yourself. Skin disorders. Another symptom of stress is you'll have skin disorders. You will have boils, you'll have rashes. These are directly the result of, stress. You will suffer from acidity. How many of you suffer from acidity on a continuous basis? Say yes. Thank you. See, whatever questions I'm asking, all of you are saying yes. So many people. I'm not naming you, but the fact is, these are common symptoms. That means all of you are stressed at some level or another. And we are not Gautam Buddhas. He was distressed. We are normal human beings. And we have a life in which some things are in our control and some are not in our control. And that's why, we will all have stress that will come in our system. and you have to know how to handle it. What are the behavioral symptoms of stress? When you're stressed, many people have these symptoms. They will use more tobacco, alcohol, and drugs. And especially in a society where drinking is considered socially acceptable, it's a big problem. Now I see youngs, boys, 17, 18, 19, sitting and drinking beer, alcohol. I'm a non-drinker. I've never touched alcohol in my life. I have nothing against it. But excess of everything, eventually it becomes an addiction, like it or not. Many people say, I take it like a medicine. If you want to take like a medicine, why not take a medicine? Why take alcohol and drugs and tobacco? Tobacco causes cancer. Remember when you go into those movie theaters, they have this big ad that comes about tobacco with all those dangerous pictures. So why eat it at all? Alcohol, eventually you become addictive. Drugs are never good. But this is a symptom of stress. Whenever you are consuming excessive tobacco, alcohol, or drugs, that means at some level you want, to get out of that situation. So excessive tea and coffee. We might feel tea and coffee is okay. That is normal, but that's also addictive. It has caffeine and tea. Tea has tea and coffee has caffeine, and eventually they become, addictive. Aggressive behavior. Aggressive behavior is so common. I'm from Mumbai. I came to Mumbai in 1991 for the first time. That's when I was staying in IIT and I met Dharmishta at that time. We were in our courtship days. And she said, let's move from Tinchpokli. I think we were going to Mulund, and we were a group of people, her friends. And they said, let's go by the local train of Mumbai. I'm from Dehradun. We do not have travel by train there. For me, I said, where do we, then we went to the train station, VT station. The train came. And those who are from Mumbai in peak hours to see at the train. And I was so scared. I didn't want it to go into it. I said, how will we get into this? How many of you are from Mumbai and you can relate with this scene that I'm telling you? It was stressful for me just to watch it. Okay. I asked, Dharmishta, I said, how will we get into this? She has a great sense of humor. She said, there is an automatic escalator system here. I said, what kind of automatic escalator system? She said, you just stand at the right place and people will take you in. Human escalator system. And I said, how do you get out? She said, the same method. When you have to get out, you stand at the right place, they will take you down. And for a guy living in Mumbai, this is a fine skill. You are new, so you come with me. She took me inside. And there were so many people. My God, I've never seen so many people in my whole life. I jam-packed. There was no space to move. And after some time, I suddenly saw something happening. And I saw there was a fight going on. Two people were fighting. And suddenly there were 20, 30 people who were beating one guy. And I asked my friends, I said, why are they beating this guy? Have you done something to these 20 people? He said, no. Fight was only between two people. Rest of them are de-stressing. They found a chance to beat somebody. They're using the opportunity. If you do not de-stress properly in a normal manner, you might end up doing this. So de-stressing is extremely important. This is a classical example of an aggressive behavior. I've seen people in Mumbai, well dressed, getting down from cars with ties and then behaving like a rowdy. So aggressive behavior is not a normal human trend. It's a trend of, aggression and stress. Overeating, very potent symptom of stress. When you keep on eating all the time, the first chance you get, you eat. Yogesh has had two examples of my friend who busted their life by drug addiction at the age of 22 and now they're unable to come out of it. Yes, thank you very much for sharing. Chanchal says, sir, in Mumbai it is termed public dhulai. That's a good one. Public dhulai. So overeating. How many of you suffer from overeating? It looks harmless, but it is a symptom of stress. You just feel like eating ice creams and vada pavs and stuff. You'll just go to the fridge and take out something and eat it. Our body continuously doesn't need food. You eat 3 times in a day, that is good enough. 2 times in a day is okay. But if you're continuously eating, that means you are stressed and you are trying to control that stress by eating. Relationship conflicts. If you are continuously happening, you are not accepting the other person. There is an issue. It is a symptom of stress. Social isolation, avoiding people in place. You don't want to meet people. You don't want to meet your relatives and your friends. You're very happy watching TV. If you continuously watch TV, you have favorite serials and you're too much into it. You're stressed. I remember when I was doing my IIT, I'm from IIT Roorkee. We had this common TV room, the clubhouse, and there was one TV set, and there was a lot of serials that used to come. I was a sportsman, and I used to go and play my sports in the evenings. Hockey, football, athletics. I've been a national level athlete. In my college days and my university days. So one day, I was going towards the TV room, and my friend was coming from the front. I stopped. I said, "What happened? You look very stressed." He said, "Pata hai, Santosh mar gaya. Santosh died." I didn't know who Santosh was. I said, "I'm very sorry. What happened?" He said, "I don't know. In the last episode, he was fine. But suddenly, in this one, he died." I almost beat this guy up. I said, "What? You are dumb." But he related to that character so much, he was on the verge of crying because Santosh died. And you will be surprised to find so many people actually start relating with, you know, people on TV, serials and dramas and other things because they want to avoid real people. They don't want any contact with real people. This is a social isolation. If you're suffering from this, you are stressed. Withdrawal from responsibility is also stress. There are people who stop growing, who stop getting promotions. They leave their jobs. They don't want to take responsibility of their children. They don't care what happens to their family. They become addicted and they withdraw from all responsibilities that they were supposed to fulfill. This is a classical example of, stress. So these symptoms, whether if you see them it's not only yourself, if you see them in others, you can at least see that this person is stressed. It might be your spouse, your children, your relative, your friend, and you can reach out and maybe help them or at least make them aware that these are the symptoms and maybe something can be done, but then make sure it doesn't cause more stress for you. So these are the behavioral symptoms. Now, let's come to the last part. How do you manage stress? How do you manage stress? To manage the stress, you have to work on 3 legs too. Three things you have to work on. You have to work on the physical angle, the psychological angle, and the spiritual angle. So these are the three things that you need to work on if you have to manage the stress. The three things you work on is the physical, the psychological or the mental, and the spiritual. Now, let's come to the first one. One of my favorite books is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Another book I like are books of Brian Weiss. I'm a great fan of Swami Vivekananda. So these three things, you know, they have inspired me, even in this session that I'm taking on stress management, there's a lot of stuff that comes from them. I'm inspired by them. And the first thing that I have learned for stress management is accepting yourself as you are first. Before you can do something about it, you need to accept it first. You have a situation. You are living in a house. It is in a locality. You are doing a job. It has a certain salary. You're married to somebody. That person is not perfect. Maybe you're not married to the most beautiful woman or the most handsome guy. We all want Aishwarya Rai's, or we all want Hrithik Roshan's, but we get regular stuff. And we all have an image of a perfect life. The money we will have, the woman we will marry, the house we will live, the transport we will drive, the job we will do, the kind of children we will have, the vacations we will go for. But the fact is, there is a great mismatch between what you desire, what you dream, and what you have. And it is this mismatch that is actually creating a stress on a continuous basis because you are dissatisfied with your present life. So the first thing is accept yourself as you are. Your weight, your height, your money, your wife, your house, your locality, your children, your job, your boss, whatever. Just accept yourself as you are. It is not as bad as you think, but it can be improved from here. Another reason for stress is people around you. You want them to change. Do you know? People continuously try to change another people. They want them to change according to themselves. A great stress is generated because most people don't want to adapt themselves according to the other person. They want the other person to adapt himself or herself according to it. And that itself is a great stressor. You know, Mr. Rao, I'll be sending a recording of this to everybody. So don't worry. If you miss something, I'll send you a recording. So accept people as they are. You cannot do much about it. People don't change much. Accept them. Accept the situation and accept the world as it is. We are not living in a perfect world with perfect friends, perfect spouse, perfect life, perfect money. Accept it as it is. Accept it as it is. And one exercise that has helped me a lot is to just sit down and accept your situation. Let's do a 5-minute meditation on this. Just close your eyes and sit straight. Let's express gratitude to what we have and then move on from there. Let's do a gratitude meditation. Bring in front of your eyes the face of your father and mother. Because of them, you are in this world. Whatever positive experience you have had in your life, it is all because of them. Express your gratitude to them. Touch their feet now. Accept them as they are, whether they are in body or not. Be grateful to them. Bring in front of your eyes your brothers and sisters. You might be on good terms with them or not, but accept them as they are. It is your choice to keep relationship with them or not, but do not think negative of them. Accept them as they are. Bring in front of your eyes all of the people that you know in your life. Say thanks to them and express them as they are. Accept them as they are. Now, bring in front of your eyes your spouse, your wife or your husband, those who are married, and your girlfriends if you are not yet married, and say thanks to this person, accept this person as it is without trying to change 1 inch in her. I know it requires effort to do this, but do it anyway. Now bring in front of your eyes the house you are living in, your own or rented, and accept it and say thankful that you have a roof on top of your head. Bring in front your children and accept them as they are. Because of them, you are a parent. Visualize the locality you are living in and accept it as it is. Think of the money in your bank account, your job, your boss, your working environment, and first accept them as they are. You're not doing it for them, you're doing it for yourself because you do not want stress to be continuously generated in your body. Take your awareness on your breath. Watch your breath coming in and going out. On my count of 5, you slowly open your eyes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Please open your eyes slowly. How are you feeling now, guys? Better. So difficult one, acceptance. Acceptance is a great stress buster, but that doesn't mean you remain in that situation. The next level is reaching out to what you want by using the law of attraction, the law of abundance. But for that, I'll have a separate session. It requires 2 hours in itself. So we'll come to that in a next session. Now, one of the great de-stressors I've found is to be near nature. It can be sea, it can be a river, it can be a forest. I remember when I was working for Skanska, the first project I had was in India. It was a Uri hydropower project. And at that time, it was big tension in Kashmir. Kidnappings were common, fights were there, gunfires were happening. And between all this, we were making this hydropower project. The job was tough. And, sometimes I was very stressed. And at that time, I was not even married. I was a bachelor. So we had Jhelum River there. What I used to do in the evening is, when I felt very stressed, tired, agitated, irritated, I just used to go near the river and I'll put my legs in the river and I'll just sit. I'll do nothing. I'll just sit. And there were these beautiful trees. Kashmir is so beautiful. There were these beautiful trees. And I would just watch the trees, the river, and especially the sound of that river. It was the most healing thing ever. And within 15-20 minutes, everything was washed, and I used to feel absolutely relaxed. Try it, guaranteed. Now in Mumbai, I'm there, so me and Dhamishta, what do we do? At least once a week, we stay in Thane, which is about 40 kilometers from main Bombay. We will travel till main Bombay at least once a week in the evening, and we'll watch the sunset. We'll just reach there before the sunset, sit on Nariman Point, and we will just watch the sunset. We are doing it for years. And no matter how hectic the life becomes, we don't miss this one. Then we will, after watching the sunset, remember when you watch the sunset and you have these beautiful shades of red and orange and many other colors, and you see the sun setting in the sea, suddenly you see the expanse, the vastness of nature, and suddenly your own worries are not so big. Everything gets dissolved there. Then we walk on Nariman Point, we take a 5 kilometer walk there, then we are exhausted. And then we will sit there and watch the sea waves. Half an hour, 1 hour. We just sit, watch the sea, the waves coming in, going out. And all the stress goes away. All the stop losses that were hit, they get washed away. And those 2 hours, they makes us whole, they makes us peaceful. And we become ready for the next week. Ask yourself, what is my nature stress buster? You should have a compulsory nature stress buster. I know I was in Bangalore, and Bangalore has these beautiful gardens. How many of you are from Bangalore? Beautiful gardens, green gardens. And what a weather. Weather, there is a great stress buster. The gardens, the greenery, Once I was just sitting in the garden there and it was a great stress buster. Take a walk in the nature. Develop gardening as a hobby. Just go, make a habit of giving maybe a flower to your wife on a regular basis. So be near nature in some way, go for a trekking, hike, go to the mountains here. So which one is your nature stress buster, guys? Yeah, share with me your nature stress buster. I'm trekking, fishing, meditation. Okay, I'm reading what you're writing to me. Farmland, Srihari goes to great. So trekking is most of the people. Biking in the hills is what Kiran does. Rahul says I left stars in the night, sitting at terrace. That's very relaxing, Rahul. Rajendra says I'm part of a laughing club. Those are great. I love them. So we all have stress busters. Make sure you have a nature stress buster where you are near nature at least for a few hours in a week. It will reduce your stress substantially. Then make sure you do about 45 minutes of aerobic exercise every day. It's a must. Because when you're doing aerobic exercise, after 30 minutes, your brain starts secreting endorphins. And you will have the same high that you get by drinking alcohol or smoking cigarettes, but this one is harmless. And it will reduce your stress drastically and it will wash away all those negative stress hormones. And one of the easiest one that I engage in every day is walking. Earlier I used to cycle, run, but I'm above 50 now and I would like a more stress-free way of doing aerobics. So, in the evenings, me and Ramishta, we walk. Whenever our sons are also there, they also walk. So we make it a family time and the walking time. And we walk for 4 to 5 kilometers, about 45 minutes to 1 hour. And that is a great stress buster. And at that time, you can listen to music if you are alone. You can read audiobooks, increase your knowledge. So make sure you're walking at least 45 minutes every day, hitting the gym, running, cycling, swimming, whatever, trekking. But walking is one of the most, easy ones to do. How many of you walk every day? You at least walk for 30 minutes in a day without fail, not once in a while. That's a great stress buster because the endorphins are secreted. You can take the stairs if you are living on fifth floor, sixth floors, up to seven, eight floors. Maybe occasionally instead of taking the lift, you can walk up. That's a great stress buster. Body awareness is very important, and yoga can be extremely good. So practice yoga. Learn it. It is great, and it will keep your body very flexible, especially the spine. The flexibility of the spine is the key to youth. And when your spine becomes flexible, and there is a very simple method of finding it, bend down and see if your fingers and your palm can touch the floor. If yes, then you have a flexible spine. How many of you are there whose palm can touch your floor when you are bending? Say yes. Okay, I have three people, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I have the guy says I can do it, but my stomach comes in between. I love your sense of humor. Great here. So we all need more flexibility, you know. So the more flexible you become and you come in your perfect weight, you become aware of your body and you do some stretching and bending exercises. It is de-stressing because toxins get accumulated in our body. Exercise washes them away, take them away. Another method of stress management is becoming aware of your breath, doing deep and slow breathing. And you can learn it in a yoga institute. You can do it, for example, we have a lot of institutes which teach, breathing exercises. So, breathing is very important. Correct breathing will make sure there is a good balance of oxygen and the other toxins. The more oxygen goes in, the less de-stressed you will become. So make sure you are practicing deep breathing. In my training rooms, I regularly pass you through the deep breathings. They're very useful. Another great stress buster is becoming spiritually aware. Some of you are believers, some are not, doesn't matter. But we all want to connect to a higher self. And one of the way you can do it, if you engage in meditation and mindfulness, becoming aware of yourself as a human being and trying to find a higher connect, a higher connect. So this is a great de-stressor. Forgive others, even if it is their mistake. Because what happens, then that person stops living in your head. Do you know how many people actually live in your head whom you dislike? And the only way, and they are living rent-free in your head, Rent-free they live in your head and cause you stress. And they make sure they sit in your head and make sure those three, hormones are secreted continuously. And the only way to throw them, they might even be dead and they're still living in your head. And the only way to throw them out is to forgive them. Forgive them and let them go. Okay. Have gratitude for the things you have. Give compliments to people. That can be very stress-free, not only for them, but also for you. Become stress-free. And develop a hobby. Everything is not about money. Develop a hobby, and if you can develop a hobby where the whole family is involved, it becomes a great stress buster. An indoor game, gardening, trekking, cycling. Develop your own stress busters, but every day you have to wash it. You have to go away, you have to wash it, and that becomes your stress buster. So, stress is there, stress has a reason, stress has to be managed, and if you manage your stress properly, then you will become, you know, extremely healthy, and you will have higher level of awareness, and you will be full of energy. So that's from my end, guys. This was Pathfinders Life Transformation Series, and the topic today was stress management. I hope you liked it. I'll be sending you a recording of this session, and feel free to forward it to anybody you want who can benefit from this. You know, and I think I'll put it up on YouTube so that everybody can listen to it. Thank you very much. All the best, and wishing you a great stress-free life.